Hi Brave Parents! Today we are going to do a foster care Q&A. I thought that it would be fun to do one of these maybe every other month or so. That way I can get your questions answered. If you have questions about foster care, comment down below and I will get your questions added to my list. That way I can answer them in upcoming videos. If you guys have not yet subscribed to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can become one of our brave parents. Question number 1. Can I work outside the home? And the answer is yes, you can. Now for Shaun and I, especially with as many kids as we have, we work from home and that makes it so much easier to have that flexibility when we have this many children in the house. But, you can work outside the home. It is no different than having your own children. And as a matter of fact, the state will even pay for childcare so you can go to work. So really, it wouldn't be any different than having your own children. They would either go to school or daycare, or they go to school and then after school care. Like I said, no different than having your own kids. And then you can pick them up from daycare and go on with your nightly routine. So yes, absolutely, you can work outside the home having foster children. The next question is, how do you know if the children need extra services? So normally, at least in the state of Nebraska, what happens is when the foster children come in, they automatically have to be set up with a doctor's appointment. It is called, I can't remember off the top of my head, but something like a placement appointment or something like that, because they are newly coming into foster care. Now, if they're coming from another foster home, this is not necessarily the case. It's only when they come from their birth parents and are being newly placed into care, or if it's a second removal or third removal and they're coming from their birth parents into care, then yes, you will probably have to do a medical, at least a doctor's appointment. They usually have us do a pediatrician appointment, a dental appointment, and an eye appointment for the kids. The other thing too is that it's good sometimes, and you're not going to know right away, but just to be aware that these kids may have things going on that have been overlooked or not treated. So when our kids came into care and they were placed with us, we've had lots of different services that we had to seek out. So we had some that we knew right away that had speech issues. We had some that we found out like months later they were behind in motor skills. So we ended up going to an OT. We've had kids that needed IEPs that weren't on them. So just being aware that you need to watch and just see what you're noticing in the kids to see if you feel like they need extra services. Therapy is going to be a big one. You should get the kids into therapy right away. Find a really good therapist. We recommend therapists that know CPP, PCIT, and are trauma informed. That would be an appointment that I would set up right away, because usually the kids, will need someone to talk to, and there's a lot of things that probably have happened that the kids will eventually need to talk about. So those are the things that we watch for. Any other things that they seem behind in, if they are behind in school. We had kids that came into our home and they were like a year or two behind in reading, and school will help catch that stuff as well. But just to also be aware that these are things that you may have to help with, and noticing those things as quickly as you can, because the sooner you get it treated, obviously the faster that child can grow and build self-esteem, and that always helps going forward. Next question, do foster children come with medical insurance? And the answer is yes. Every time a child has been placed into our home, they automatically come with state insurance, which is Medicaid. And that allows us to take them to all of their appointments that they need. There are some instances, like if we go to see an ENT or when we set up therapy, a lot of times the special services will require a caseworker approval. That is at least in the state of Nebraska. And so we do have to have the caseworker either give verbal approval or sign off on that. So there are, in some cases, you will need the caseworker to approve it. But going to just like regular doctor's appointments, eye doctor, dentist, things like that, you don't need any approval for those. But also, Medicaid is usually very good about paying for anything that the children need. I've only had 2 circumstances where Medicaid wouldn't pay, and one was when we needed to get a nebulizer for one of our kids that had a respiratory issue going on, and they would not cover the nebulizer for some reason, so we had to do a workaround. And then for Isabella, she has asthma, and we use a spacer for her, and we needed a couple extra so that way we could keep her emergency meds both at daycare and at school and at home. And so Medicaid would only provide us 2 spacers in 1 year's time. So we did have to purchase one outside of that, a third one, which was not a big deal. It wasn't really that much, but those are the only 2 times we've ever run into a circumstance where Medicaid would not cover something for us. The next question is, what do we do when the children come with nothing? So this is a great question, and a lot of times what we would do is if they first came to us with no like hygiene items, or we'd obviously have shampoo and conditioner and body soap and that type of stuff already in our showers. But if they wanted something special, we would always take them to the store that first night and buy them what they wanted or needed. You know, any deodorant or special shampoo, conditioner, special soaps, a new toothbrush, toothpaste, things like that we would get for them. A lot of times though, the kids come with no clothes. And what we did was we set up with one of our local stores the ability to come in and shop. And this store happened to be, it was like a hand-me-up store, and they would allow people to come in and shop for free. And so they would allow us, usually you would have to fit in a certain income level, but because we were constantly getting in new placements, they set up with us the ability to come in with the foster children and shop for free for them. So that was an amazing opportunity for our kids that were placed with us, and so that worked out really well. Also, in Nebraska, and I'm sure that they have other things like this in other states, they have a lot of foster care closets, and so they will allow you to come in and shop. Some are for free, some are not free, but they're very low cost. And so that worked well for us if we needed to shop for other things that maybe the store, one store didn't have, and we needed to go to another store. So we were able to shop in the foster care closets. Also, there is something in Nebraska called Friends of Foster Care, and they will help you out with items that you need. So actually with Friends of Foster Care, you have to apply, but you can ask for anything from senior picture cost, prom dress. We actually requested to have them pay for some of our gymnastics cost, and they would then, all you have to do is apply, fill out what it's for, and then they would send you a check in the mail, and you could go and pay for whatever activity or whatever it was that foster child needed. That was an amazing resource, and we requested things just a couple times, but we were always approved. And so that really worked amazing. I also know of some other foster parent friends that I have that have used that service as well. And they, every time they applied, they were given whatever they requested as well. So that is really cool. You know, you can ask your caseworker, agency worker, maybe the CASAs or GALs, if they know of resources that you can use in your state, in your area. Also, just doing a quick search online, that is how I found a lot of the places that we use, is just by searching online and finding them. And so there are a lot of amazing resources out there for foster parents. You just have to know where to look. All right, guys, last question. Do foster children come with any other benefits? And the answer is actually yes. And I am going to tell you from our experience, so with our state, I'm going to guess that some of these are going to be similar across the United States. One of the extra benefits that you get with foster children is free lunch. So if your kids are in school, then they have the free and reduced lunch program. And here in Nebraska, all foster children will fall under that. We were actually even told that if you have other children in your house and you are a foster parent, that they will include all of the children under that. And so when you fill out the paperwork, you still have to apply for it, but they didn't make us fill out any of the income information because they said because we were foster parents, they all just qualified. And so we were able to get free lunch for the kids. So especially for the foster children, they fall under that, and they will definitely get the free lunches at school. Another benefit is when we have infants come in, they qualify for the WIC program. And this actually isn't just for infants. We used it just for infants. It would go up to, I think it's age 5. And you can get baby formula, you can get baby cereal, baby food, you can get milk, cheese, I think cereal, eggs maybe. There's quite a few things that it covers, and it will cover that child, I think from newborn up till age 5. And they give you like a list of the things. It has to be a certain brand, has to be a certain amount, but they'll give you a list. We did not use it for any of the kids except for infant formula, and this comes in really helpful. For instance, Christian was on a very special formula. It was the most expensive formula that you can get. It was like $50 a can, and he went through a can in 3 days. And so WIC covered that for us, which is absolutely amazing because he was a foster placement at that time. And so they also covered the baby food. I ended up just buying what I wanted, and so I didn't use it for the baby food or any of the other stuff, just the formula. But that came in really handy when we found out we were going to have to pay, you know, $50 a can. And so that is really a very nice benefit to have, especially if you're taking in infants. Another benefit that foster children get is a lot of times they'll get help with college, or they could possibly get free college. Sometimes even if the kids are adopted, if they've ever been a foster placement, they can get help with college. And there are other programs here in Nebraska. Some I'm not totally familiar with because we haven't ever used them, but there are programs to help foster children who are aging out get housing. There are some to help them get cars, and sometimes they have to go through like some classes or something like that, but there is those benefits out there for them to help those children get things that maybe they couldn't get otherwise. So this is another great area where you could do some research, maybe online, or calling your agency or a caseworker or something like that to see what other benefits there are out there in your state. Thanks for watching our video today, guys. be on the lookout for our next foster care Q&A episode. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, click here to subscribe to our channel. And if you have not watched our video, New Foster Care Placement Questions, make sure to catch that video here next. Bye.